Hello to all my colleagues across the world who are affected by the corona flu. I know that it kind of sucks to be away from your kids, to be away from school. Obviously, there's also benefits to that, but I know that lots of people in the various Facebook groups and WhatsApp groups have been talking about teaching students from afar. So I have a few resources available for this, mostly from a flipping the classroom training I did a while ago. I'm just going to very quickly run you through these tabs, what they do and why they're useful. Every tab I have is has some sort of free content. Some of them you pay to get more, but I'm trying to show you all the good free stuff. So if you're teaching older kids, edX is amazing. It's also really good for teachers if you want some PD. It is free online courses from a huge variety of people, from Harvard to Berkeley to Amnesty International to the Smithsonian Institute. And what I tend to do is go into courses, all of them, and then you can look by all the different subjects. You can look by languages, so they have some in Spanish, Chinese, Russian, etc. And you can look for subjects. What I tend to do is look for maybe companies that interest me. So I've looked at MIT. I might go and look at Amnesty International. Now these are free. If you want to get the certificate, often you can pay. So let me just open this course. And you can see it's a free course. If you want to get the official certificate, it's $137. Most of them are much cheaper. Most of them are like $23. This is really good for academic courses. If you want practical courses like coding courses, Photoshop, etc., Udemy is really cool. It's where I have learned different stuff, and you can see they have it for all different subjects. So let's look for Photoshop. And what tends to happen is they always have ones that are $1 gazillion and then reduced to $11.99. I think this is actually the usual price. But you can go in and just look for all the free courses, and the free courses are usually pretty good. They're mostly lots of short videos that you can watch. You can follow along online. So that has a whole range of topics on there. So that's Udemy. Now, Classcraft is something I usually use for classroom behavior. I have a class set up for each of my 5 design classes. All the students are on there. They have avatars, which they can customize when they earn points for good behavior or for completing extra credit work. Now in Classcraft, there's something called Classcraft quests, which I will show you here. You can use them to do self-paced work. You can use it in class. I will show you, if I can find it, one of the ones that I've made in the past. Here we go, Coding Champions Quest. And what it is, they log in and there's a little bit of the story. So I think this story is you are being sent away by the mayor of your town to go and find out about different types of coding and to bring that back to your village. So each time it's a story and then there's an activity. What I tend to do for all my activities, instead of having them upload work or putting in deadline dates, I just have a question or a prompt and then add your answer to the discussion section. This is much easier to manage. If you have the paid account, which obviously I do, and this is me over here, you can do really, really, really long quests. But if you have the free account, you can do ones which have just 3 levels. So I'm not sure if my one's going to come up. Sorry, 6 levels. I made one about the UN Global Goals, Save the World by 2030. And you can see on this one, it just has... you can't see here, it's not showing, but it has just 6 levels because that's the free version. These are totally self-paced. I do them always as extra credit. I have loads and then the students just choose to do them in their own time. I don't like to set extra homework, but they do that. But this could work really well if you're teaching from far away. Now, Brainpop, if you have an account on Brainpop, your school has an account, that means you normally log in with your school's username and password. But as a teacher in that school, you can have your own account called My Brainpop. In this, you can make classes and you can assign work. And Brainpop isn't just short videos to watch. It also has different activities and games. So you can make a class and then assign work in there. So I thought that was pretty cool. If you don't have an account, brainpop.com, they often have videos for free, so you could use some of those to enhance your learning. Next is TED Ed. Lots of people, as soon as you say TED Ed, they're like, yeah, I use TED Talks in my class all the time, but they haven't actually looked at this site. What you want to do is go into Discover and Lessons, and you can look through everything they have. They're usually animations, or you can look by subject. So let's say that I am a social studies teacher. I can look into history, and I can find some videos that interest me. So maybe the life of an African revolutionary. Now, not only does the lesson have the video, they often have Think, which is multiple choice questions and open questions related to the video. They have Dig Deeper, which gives you loads of extra resources and extra information. So you could use this video to start a lesson, and then you can have these as additional things. Then it also has a discussion point. Now, what I tend to do is use these and make my own activities, but you can actually log in and then you would duplicate this or customize this lesson, and you would give the students the code. That means you can see your students' activity on there. So I think that's pretty cool. The next one is IORoad, which is an extension that you add to Chrome. And what it is it video records, just as I'm doing now, I would do a screen recording, and then it has it where you can click. So basically you screen record and you watch it through, and every time that I click somewhere or type something, you can get it to prompt the student that they have to go and click on the Xbox or click on the title or type here. So I thought that's pretty cool. On my blog I just have an example of one here, so I'll show you how it looks for the student. So it's my screen recording. They press start, tells them where to click, tells them where to type, and then I can keep going through the whole video tutorial. That was super easy to make. I just found out about this yesterday on a podcast called Cult of Pedagogy, and I made this morning. The next one is The Day. Now, my school has a subscription to The Day. I think it's awesome. I think it's pretty cheap for a school, but you can access 3 articles a month for free. So what I would do is scroll through and find the article. Don't click on it until you see one that looks interesting. It is organized by kind of news topics here and then by subjects. It used to have the translation bar at the side here, but I'll show you in a second where to find that. If you click on an article that you like, not only is it a beautiful child-friendly article, it has activities below, questions to decide, then it has loads of links to credible sources like The Guardian News, the BBC, has WordWatch. I actually wrote a whole unit called Lego, Gender and Advertising based on one article that I saw in The Day. This to me I always recommend as well if you have cover work and it's something that can't be done when you're not there, like if it's using machinery for example, or if you're just so sick you can't do it. The Day is great because a student can read the article, you can get them to complete the activity, and then if they finish it they have further reading. If you go into, I'm just going to click on IB because I know it is in here. Along the side it has this box. This box appears on quite a few pages. If you click on this, you will see that some of the articles are translated into other languages. Not all of them, but what's really nice about them, if you go into one of the articles, okay, I'm not in the free version. If I was logged in, if I went into one of the articles or I hadn't looked at more than 3 this month, underneath it has the questions and discussion points all in the same language, and so in German, and it also has the further resources in German too. The next resource is Comment Bubble. Comment Bubble is super cool. What happens is you upload a video and you can assign 5 different things for people to click. So I did it from love it, like it, not interested, dislike to hate it. But you could be watching a poem and have people click when they hear a simile, or when they hear an adjective, or when they hear slang. It doesn't have to be like a scale like this. And what happens is they click along as they are playing it. They can also write in the comments. Then at the bottom you can see here. So I can see, oh look, loads of people really liked the end of the video. Well, loads of people really liked, let me have a look at this one. This robot here, or I can go in here and say loads of people did not like this robot. Some people liked it and some people loved it and some people hated it. It is a military robot, so you can use this for discussion. I think it's really cool. I think it was originally designed for like market research, but I think this is a cool tool. And I've done it here where anyone can log in and watch the video. You can do it, so there's usernames, so you can track who says what. Most of you know about Quizlet. Quizlet is great for learning new vocabulary. You can see that I'm logged into my one, so this is where I've been trying to learn German. But if I'm logged into my teacher one, you can see I have everything from the MYP design command terms to different HTML. This is super useful because each time you make a game and you have the word and the definition, word definition, it can be done in a million different ways as a student player. So they can use flashcards, they can do learn, they can write, they can spell, they can do a matching activity, they can do a what's it called? A gravity activity, which is quite of these things floating through space. There's all different things that they can do in Quizlet. You just make the game once, and then they have lots of different versions. Insert learning and actively learn are both very, very, very similar. With these two things, you can upload an article, say from the BBC, and then throughout the upload that you have or the link you've put in, you can drop questions just as they're showing you here. You can add additional notes. So I did a version where we looked at the I can't remember the name of it, the new pickup truck by Tesla, and so it was an article about that. I embedded a video showing the unveiling of the new truck where they accidentally smashed the windows, and then I had some multiple choice questions. I had some questions that only I could see the answer, and I had questions that were discussions that everyone could see the answer. That was pretty cool. I got them to do it when they came to class for the first 5 minutes, then we used it to discuss as a class, but you could definitely use this as a flip learning. And same with actively learn. I think both of them, they have a certain amount for free, and then if you want more content or more to save, it is paid. The next one is Khan Academy. So Khan Academy has loads of cool courses. It isn't just math. This is what some people think. They even have resources from people like the British Museum. I've done the computer programming course with my students, and what's nice about it is as they go through, it doesn't just have videos that they follow along, but it has challenges where they have to actually code, and then they can share it with me so that I can see what they've done. As a teacher, I earn like badges and stuff for how many things we check, and so it's very interactive. And this is one of the things that I like to do more stuff where I create the content, but just to introduce them to HTML, I put them on Khan Academy and a few other stuff. And actually they're like, please, miss, can we spend 10 more minutes in Khan Academy? They were super, super into it. So I think it is pretty fun. Again, not to do everything on there, but some stuff. The next two are Mangawhai and Prodigy Math. Now, I do a video game unit of my students, and part of that is that they analyze educational video games. Both of these are math games, and they both have a free version and a paid version. Mangawhai is you can assign loads of math activities, and then there's games as well. If you have the free version, you only have access to some of the games, and I think you can only assign some of the work. Prodigy Math, I think, has a lot more content which is free. What's nice about this is if you create a class and players are on at the same time, they can battle each other. The graphics are really cool. So actually, this one was the favorite in my grade 6s, and they were actually asking me as well, can we play that, because they want to play it more. Even though, you say, oh, let's do a math activity, sometimes it doesn't get the best response, though it should, because math is awesome. But yeah, they were super, super keen on this. And then we have Duolingo. If you log into schools.duolingo.com, it's the same as Duolingo, apart from you can create a class, you can track the progress, which means you can track the levels the students have got to, how much time they're spending on Duolingo, and you can also assign some work. So I think that's pretty cool. I'm not a language teacher, but I did practice this 2 years ago, because I was doing tech integration, and I had my mum log in and my husband log in and practice along, and it was cool to see kind of the information it gave. And the last one, which I think is really important and helps you really stay connected with your kids, is Flipgrid. In Flipgrid, you create your classes, and then you create individual topics. Now, you can have a topic where you just type a question and they will respond with a video. I always try and make sure that when I ask a question, it's me videoed, and I usually do it when I'm not looking my best. Sometimes I've got my dog on me, I'm at home drinking a cup of tea, and I ask them the question and then they respond. I do this because sometimes you get students who are very self-conscious, you need to model, so I do that. Some of my kids, they cover up the camera, I just hear the audio. Or also, some of my kids who are English second language, they really don't want to share the video as much. So what I do is I have it so that it's not shared to the rest of the class until I've approved. Then at the start of that video, they can say, please keep this one just for me and you. Then they tell me the video. What's cool about this is that it's quick, it's easy. You can set that you only want students to spend 1 minute replying or 3 minutes replying, and then students can see each other's responses. It gives you information about how much time they've been spending watching each other's resources, and it's quite a lot, so you can see the engagement there. And students seem to enjoy this. I think this is a great way if you are far away from your kids, everyone's spread out, you're not seeing each other physically. I think this is a cool way to stay connected. Hopefully some of those tools have helped.